the most celebrated independent filmmaker ever. His films have touched my soul. By watching his films, I have learned to love my life even more. He has made by far the most experimental films.
I really do work from a pretty specific autobiographical place, at least as a jumping off point.
I really like talking with you. I don't usually even try to vocalize my thoughts or feelings or anything.
And few films might bore you, few films might blow away your mind. Hello everyone, this is BSK and today we are going to talk about Richard Linklater. So back in the day I was very enthusiastic about making films, and that is how I started searching for independent films, and I came across this beautiful film called Slacker. This was no ordinary film. This film did not have any protagonist nor any antagonist. For that matter, there was no story in this film. You have to watch it for yourself to believe it. The film is literally guys talking with each other, random people just having conversations with each other, and that is this film.
You know, it's a covert operation between the United States government and the Soviet Union. It's been going on for over 30 years. We've been on the moon since the 50s.
I was blown away by the concept of this film, something that I have never seen before. And the conversations that these characters were having were so entertaining and engaging. I was blown away. इस फिल्म में कैमरा इज़ अनदर कैरेक्टर इन इटसेल्फ, और ये कैमरा बस यहाँ से वहाँ जा रहा है और लोगों की कॉन्वर्जेशंस कैप्चर कर रहा है. Conversations that these people are having are also so unique, and my mind was blown away, as in how can anyone come up with this concept?
The idea of Slacker came to me, I remember about 2 in the morning. I was driving late at night on a long trip alone, and the idea of the film, the narrative structure of the film kind of hit me in one shot. Like, why couldn't you tell a story that moves from one character to the next to the next? I was 23, just in love with cinema and its possibilities, and I was thinking, what is cinema? What can it do? What are its boundaries? So that idea of an experimental narrative kind of hit me and then stayed with me. And then 6 years later, I was actually making that film, but I thought about it for 6 years.
What is this?
Well, that's her menstrual cycle, 28 cups. You got your PMS section over here, and that's taking up a lot of space this month.
Slacker became my gateway to mind-blowing indie films, and these films gave me a confidence that I can actually make films.
Do you have any idea what they were arguing about? Do you speak English?
Yeah.
And after Slacker, I stumbled upon this unique film, Before Sunrise. शायद आप लोगों ने देखी होगी या एटलीस्ट सुना होगा इस फिल्म के बारे में. And Before Sunrise is one of those films which can make someone feel how falling in love feels like. इससे पहले there have been many directors and filmmakers who have attempted to capture this feeling of falling in love, but I think Richard Linklater ने जो attempt किया है, he has come the closest of capturing this feeling.
Well, the first part of that is just all the dialogue, and I think that's what it is when you're really getting to know someone. The idea of the first film was two people connecting. I mean, the first film was really just about trying to capture kind of something, the intangible thing between these two people, that nothing great happened in the movie other than this connection. So I just remember wanting to make a film just about that.
For my surprise, Before Sunrise was first installment of the trilogy. So there's Before Sunrise, and then there's Before Sunset, and then there's Before Midnight, and all these films are beautiful. So after Before Sunrise, I was crazy about this guy, Richard Linklater, and I wanted to see everything that he has made. And I was so surprised by looking at the diverse films that this guy has made. One of the films that he had made is Tape. through his few interviews, I came to know that there was a brief moment in his career wherein no producer was ready to put in money for the film that he wanted to make, and so he just went out and he made this film, Tape. And this film was shot in just one hotel room. Me as a filmmaking student, I was so mesmerized by the way he was making films. And then I watched the best film Richard Linklater has ever made, and that is Boyhood. This film is so experimental. You must have never heard about something like this. A film that was made in the span of 12 years.
I had this story just about growing up that I couldn't quite crack the form of. I had this idea. It's like, oh, well, if I filmed a little every year, I could cover it, you know? So it all came to me in a flash.
This film encapsulates the journey of a boy from his young age to adulthood, a film that encapsulates life. I was utterly in love with this film, and this is when I questioned myself, what is that makes Richard Linklater's films so unique? And the answer that I got was, his films and characters in his films feel real. Most of his films come from a biographical standpoint. He puts his own stories, his own experiences into stories and into the films that he is making. And that is why everything that he makes feels so real.
I really like talking with you. I don't usually even try to vocalize my thoughts or feelings or anything.
One of the great things about getting to do this is there is a cathartic aspect. You do get to recycle things from your own experience, or that's where I really do work from a pretty specific autobiographical place, at least as a jumping off point.
Richard Linklater tells his stories with utmost realism. And that is why you, by watching his films, fall in love with your own life. He glamorizes daily mundane tasks that we do. A simple walk with your friend can be so memorable. The drama that happens in every conversation, the humor that happens, every little thing in your life in itself is so special. And you are special to be able to experience all those things, to be able to participate in all those small things.
What do you think?
There is really nothing much happening in his films, but yet a lot is happening.